What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Down to the Wire. I'm your host, Brian Costa.
And I'm Tyler Stringfellow.
And we have an amazing episode in store for you guys today. Welcome back to the show. It has been since last Friday since we had an episode. And Tyler, it's been a while since you've been on the show, man. I'm glad to have you back on.
Dude, I've been so busy lately. It's not even fun. It hasn't even been any funny at all.
Yeah.
I've been so busy with practices, with individual meetings, and it's just been terrible. And I had just got back from a 3-day meet up at WPI this past weekend, so I couldn't be on Friday, sadly. And
man. Listen, I've been able to see your schedule. You've been booked. It's like crazy, man. And literally the one day that we didn't end up having anything, we ended up going into the Celtics game.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Dude. I mean, that was a ton of fun. I mean, we can maybe talk about more about that at a later time. But Tyler, we got a guest on the show today.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So, he's been on the show before. I had him on last summer, actually. And it was actually when the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley fight went down. It was after it had happened. And I ended up wanting to get this guy on the show because he actually went to the fight over in Cleveland, Ohio to witness it live for himself. So I thought that was an awesome experience to be able to talk to someone about. And I figured with the recent news coming up, I wanted to get him back on the show once again. So ladies and gentlemen, one of the most electrifying individuals at Bryant University, please welcome back to the show, Mr. Trevor Saunders. Trevor, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me back, everybody. Ready to talk some Jake Paul, get back into this.
Words I never thought I'd hear.
Yeah.
Let's talk some Jake Paul.
Jake Paul on Down to the Wire. Unfortunately, it's something that we've kind of have become accustomed to on this show. I mean, whether you like Jake Paul or not, but obviously, Tyler, you were showing some disdain before the show. What are your thoughts on the Paul brothers?
Bro, all credit to them taking advantage of all their opportunities to make money and everything, but it's just they're losers, man. They're losers. They're famous for being YouTubers, and now they're trying to box. I mean, Logan Paul got to box Floyd Mayweather. That's pretty cool. I'll give him that.
Money Mayweather.
I'll give him that. That's pretty cool. But he's also 6'4", and Floyd is like what, 5'8", 5'9",
something like that.
Heels. Or
I mean, I think
that.
he's shorter than me. I think he's like 5'7".
Like, that's just not a fair fight, obviously. But
no.
But now you see Jake Paul was supposed to fight Tommy Fury, and he's either brother.
He's the half brother of Tyson Fury.
Yeah. And if people don't know, Tyson Fury, one of the best boxers in the world right now.
Yes.
Just won the heavyweight title, right?
Yeah, he just beat Wilder out again for it.
Yeah, for Deontay Wilder for the third time.
Yeah. No, the second time. It was the first time I believe it was a split decision, or it was a
yes.
Yeah, it was a draw rather. And then Fury has won the last two fights. And then Tommy Fury, it's the half brother. I believe they have the same dad, different moms. And and he was scheduled to fight Jake Paul. And basically it was, all things go up until this point. And at the last minute, Tommy Fury basically had to pull out as he had a chest infection and broken ribs reportedly coming out. There were, Trevor, I thought you had also told me at one point that there was some speculation that maybe he had broken his hand.
So I'm reading it right now. If you just want to, it says, much anticipated fight originally set on December 18th. This is from the Men's Health website I just found. So it was set to fight in Tampa, Florida. However, 22-year-old Fury had to withdraw from the bout on medical grounds, citing a broken rib and a bacterial chest infection, which he actually showed the real medical records to show that this is legit.
Yeah,
it's not him being scared of Jake Paul, nor would he should be afraid of Jake Paul. Yeah, because he's Tommy Fury's a real boxer,
Yeah,
let alone a stupid YouTube star, gone crazy boxer. So there you go.
All right. So we clearly see where Tyler stands on this issue. Trevor, I think you kind of have the exact opposite opinion of Tyler here. So I'll let you kind of explain your point behind Jake Paul and your representation for the Paul brothers.
I'm all ears for this. I'm all ears. I can't wait
Trevor,
to hear this.
Let it rip, Trevor.
All right, I'm about to go on.
I can't wait to hear this.
Have you seen his fights?
Yeah.
Which ones?
He fought Nate Robinson. That dude is the size of my legs.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't even have
but you
long
saw what
legs.
He did. But you saw what he did to him.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could KO a 5-year-old too.
Right. So he's fighting these opponents, and I get it. They're not pro boxers, and he was gonna whoop Tommy Fury. I'll get to that in a minute. But
what?
Hold on. Give him his due. Give him his due.
Right. So he's fighting people that are worse than him to make some serious money and clout. I totally understand that.
That part I do understand.
So Jake Paul, he's fought 4 or 5 times, whatever. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Who were Mayweather's first 5 opponents? Who were Conor McGregor's first 5 opponents? Nobody ever talks about that because they were lower level bums. Jake Paul understands that he needs more experience and more fights underneath his belt to work his way up to the higher level guys. And each fight, he is challenging himself more and more to fight higher level guys. He fought Nate, which was everyone said was a professional athlete. That was just legal assault. That should have
that was not
there's no debating that on this show. No, Jake Paul took Nate Robinson to the freaking cleaners.
But look at the size. I got to be honest. Look at the size of the Paul brothers. They're big boys.
I mean,
100%.
And it's not like they don't have a fighting background. They were professional wrestlers out in Cleveland.
Yeah, and it's not like they train like BS. They put in a lot of work.
No, they put the work in. I was seeing Jake Paul. He was on Pat McAfee's show, and he was talking about moving to Puerto Rico, basically training. And according to some guys that are in his circle, they say that he trains harder than most professionals do than some professionals do.
Yeah, because I can guarantee you he knows that people don't take him seriously. Yes. So he's like, I need to put in even more work because nobody takes me seriously. And I think Logan is a better fighter than Jake because I feel like Logan did fight KSI, which is like obviously KSI is still a YouTuber, but I feel like he has a little bit more like I can't trying to think of the word, like a little bit more like what's the word? He's like more
agile. Is he
is
more of a complete fighter?
I'll just say like a little bit more legitimate.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Like I can see him being like a really good boxer, and he beat Logan Paul twice.
Yeah. I think they tied once and beat him the other time.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, no, KSI beat Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like also Jake Paul is just a bum.
Right. So
here's the thing though, while you can make the argument that Logan could be more technically skilled, I would say that Jake, at least, while Logan obviously was able to fight Floyd Mayweather and do all that, he's fighting Floyd at 45 years old, and he's also like a foot taller than the man. Like, it was also the biggest weight difference that Floyd has ever faced in his career. So, I'm not saying that it would have excused anything or done anything like that, but it clearly shows that like Logan Paul obviously is kind of not really he's kind of doing more. He's still kind of more on the celebrity fight. And I feel like he's still fighting more as an influencer than as an actual boxer at this point in time. Well, and you can make the argument that Jake Paul, he hasn't made enough of a jump, but I at least can see a pattern that he's trying to go with, where he obviously started off fighting that guy, Aneeson Gibb. And I don't even know if you've seen that fight. The guy he fought for his first fight before Nate Robinson, that was a freaking joke.
That was a joke as well.
Like that guy was awful. Like I remember, like, Tyler, if you ended up like seeing the fighting style of the guy who he fought in his first fight, it is the most obscure and awful boxing stance I've ever seen in my entire life. This man is going around like almost in a catcher's squat, trying to punch out Jake Paul, and everyone's like, "What is this guy doing?" And Jake ended up just like taking him out. I think it was in the first round.
Yes, he did. And one thing that was interesting, Tyler, you said KSI is a lot better boxer and everything.
I just feel like he's a little bit more legitimate than say Nate Robinson.
For sure. Before the fight, KSI said that Aneeson Gibb was his best sparring partner. He said Gibb gave me the best run for my money, and Jake finished him in the first round.
Yeah, and don't worry about that. It was just your sneeze.
So I think.
What?
Oh, there's just like Mike squeak.
Oh,
you're fine though.
In the sense of comparing Jake to Logan, I think Logan's a better fighter in the straights because Logan's very talented at wrestling.
But I mean,
when it comes to boxing, Logan has absolutely no idea what he's doing. He's just very athletic. He keeps his hands by his waist the whole time, and he swings with no form whatsoever.
Is this Logan, you said?
Yeah, Logan.
Yeah.
Jake's overhead right is actually kind of disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
Now he needs to like open it up and actually like get you into it. And I feel like more skilled boxers could probably expose that. So I think for him, he's going to have to try to build a better overall game down the line. For me personally, I think that, I was seeing him in the Tyron Woodley fight, and going back to kind of the path I wanted to talk about first, he fought Gibb, he fought Nate Robinson, then he went on to fight Ben Askren. And when I saw the Ben Askren fight, I was like, come on, he's literally the guy in the UFC who's known for not striking, and you're gonna actually get into a fist fight with this guy. I was like, come on. But
everybody thought that fight was rigged. They predicted Jake was gonna win anyway, and Ben took the money and just was like, whatever.
I see that. I see that 100%. But people don't listen to what Ben said before the fight. Ben said, I think on the news and on the Impulsive podcast to Logan, I'm doing this for the money. And if he's any good at fighting, he's probably going to beat me.
Yes.
So people admitted,
he
admitted to it. Yes.
I mean, here's the thing, Tyler. I don't know if you've ever seen any Ben Askren fights in your life. Like, he is, when Ben Askren was at the top of his game, he was a very top-notch wrestler, Olympic world-class wrestler in his craft. He was amazing at what he did. Then he went to the UFC, and he went on record as saying, I don't need to strike people to win in the UFC, where you kind of need to be able to strike at least a little bit to win in the UFC. He went on record of saying that, and he ended up going up against Jorge Masvidal, who is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. That man is just a bad freaking man. Jorge Masvidal had one of the quickest finishes in UFC history off that man, because he went at him with a flying knee, knocked him out in 3 seconds.
Damn.
It was one of the craziest knockouts that it's in UFC history.
Yeah.
And basically, it's one of the things that's notoriously tied to Ben Askren's career, because he doesn't really know how to strike. He needs to get you to the mat to have a chance to win, and that was his whole big thing.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think is going to come out of the new Jake Paul fight now?
Yeah, because now it's Tyron Woodley too. So Woodley, Jake Paul, apparently his team, reached out to Woodley, and apparently Woodley was just in shape and ready to go, which is, granted, that's great. That's great news to hear that, we have a legit opponent for him to go against. Now, a lot of people were asking, is he going to get that rematch right away? And I was kind of excited that there was going to at least be something in between, like when they next fought, and you were actually going to have to kind of wait a little bit before they did fight again. But unfortunately, injuries and all that stuff kind of can throw a wrench into things. And seeing the rematch, I mean, I remember watching the first fight, and I think that Tyron Woodley, unfortunately, he had never been in a boxing ring before, and there was a big feeling out process for him. While he is a world-class,
there's a big difference between was it UFC?
He was a UFC champion. He
was dirty at it.
Yeah, and I think he had possibly, I think it was 5 title defenses, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference between a boxing match versus UFC. I mean, you're throwing punches, but it's a completely different ball game.
Well, in UFC too, I mean, as someone who did martial arts growing up, you had to, when you're fighting someone in a martial arts background, you're thinking, oh, when are they going to kick? Are they going to try to take you to the mat? And then, that's part of, that's part of your instincts when you're fighting. And to put someone in a boxing ring and to tell them just to ignore those instincts of a guy going for your legs or doing something like that, it's a tough thing to kind of, turn off in a sense.
Yes, I remember. Do you remember the McGregor Mayweather fight?
Yeah.
McGregor got called multiple times for grabbing Floyd by the head and punching him in the head.
Yeah,
he
hit him in the back of the head.
Dude, what are you doing?
Well, you could see also in that fight, he was trying, his legs were, you kind of saw his legs twitching a little bit, because,
he's ready to kick.
Conor McGregor is obviously broke his leg against Poirier, but is known for having tremendous kicking abilities.
Oh yeah.
And
if he connects,
yeah. Well, he's known for he's known. It's what he was notoriously known for. It's why he was the notorious MMA.
Oh, yeah.
And you see, and basically it unfortunately happens with a lot of UFC guys that are trying to make this, now transition into boxing. And I think it got with Woodley, because later on in the fight, you saw him actually make some legit improvements. And I will say that for this fight against Jake Paul, I will give Jake Paul actual credit for this fight. While I was, in the past, I was kind of skeptical of his other fights. I was like, Ben took a dive. I thought that the Nate Robinson fight was, as you said, legal assault. That was just allowed. And then, the Gibb fight is just a joke. I saw the Tyron Woodley fight as a legit fight, because Jake Paul went all 8 rounds. It was the furthest seat that he's ever gone in his boxing career.
He showed he had the stamina.
And it showed that he could actually probably compete against someone with some fighting ability. And
exactly.
I think, but what's interesting about this now is Tyron Woodley's been in the ring. He's he's done the training, but now he's actually had the live experience. He's had the crowd around him in that setting, and he's been able to, and he now understands what goes into that.
And
what I'm wondering is, how do you guys think that this is going to affect him? I'll answer last, but in terms of the rematch, who do you think probably has the upper hand here?
Oh, this is exactly what's going to happen. So if you look at the last fight, Tyson I mean, Tyron was too afraid of becoming a meme. He was too timid.
Yeah.
You can look back. Jake would take a step forward. He comes back about 5-6 feet. He wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
exactly. He was more afraid of not getting. I mean, his objective was not getting knocked out. It was not winning. He was more concerned with, oh man, I can't be face down on this canvas right now. I can't do it.
Yeah, because the UFC community would disown him.
Exactly.
And some members of the UFC community even did that after his loss, regardless, even though he went all 8 rounds with them. So he was basically trying to fight for his credibility as well in that fight.
Absolutely. So he fought timid and laid back. So if he asked, and Jake Paul beat him fair and square easily, and Tyron hit one big shot on Jake. Jake ate it. He didn't go in, didn't try and knock him out, didn't want anything to do with that. I don't know why. Tyron was afraid to let his hands fly, and I think he would have had a much better chance if he did that. So for this second fight, he has to let his hands fly. He has to, no questions asked. He has to get in there and throw punches. But if you look back, and I believe it was the 6th or the 7th round, he came in on Jake. Jake hit him with what I believe was a right hook, and Tyron was going down, and Jake caught him. So I remember I saw that. So I think Tyron's going to come in, try and knock out Jake, and he's getting put down 100%. Really? I think Jake's going to catch him. I'm not sure what exactly it's going to be, but I see Jake knocking Tyron out all day long.
I think for Woodley.
You see Woodley? Okay.
I see Woodley because you said he's got the experience now.
Yeah.
And he's got the butterflies. Because I from an athlete, I can understand butterflies when you go to like someplace for the first time.
I mean, Tyler, you're a D1 swimmer. Your first D1 meet, I can only
dude, you don't even know the half of it. Oh, I swam like dog crap.
Oh,
it was ugly.
We're in the podcast room. We're in the podcast room. We're not on air.
I don't care. I had so many butterflies going through my chest, and I can guarantee that's what he had. And it's in your head. It's a mental battle.
No matter how many times you've been in a setting like that before, something new and something,
dude, I've been swimming for at that time like 14 years.
Yeah.
And I come in and I act like I'd never been there before. And for Woodley, I can understand the butterflies. He doesn't want to get embarrassed. He is a little afraid because he's not used to it. And so I feel like he was playing the Floyd Mayweather game, which was,
feel it out.
You feel out your opponent first couple of rounds, and then you tire him out. And then that's what Floyd does is he like runs around almost, and he tries to just avoid the punches, and he throws some here and there, but he tires out his opponent, and then he attacks in the end. That's what he's always done. He did it to McGregor because McGregor didn't have enough stamina to last with Floyd. Now, I think that's what Woodley's ideal maybe was, to maybe tire out Jake because he's a YouTube star. Does he really have the stamina that I have as a UFC fighter?
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you he was like, oh, wow, I was completely wrong. This kid has insane stamina, and it bit him in the butt. But you were right. He needs to, I think Tyron Woodley really needs to step up. He really needs to be confident. He needs to go in there and act like he's the best in the world. Put a little Muhammad Ali in there.
That's the only way he'll win this. I agree.
Float like a butterfly sting that could be.
Yeah.
He's gotta have that mentality, or else he's gonna look like a fool to Jake Paul again.
Yeah.
Which I even hate saying, but if Jake's a big kid.
He's no joke.
He connects with one punch, and Tyron's down on the mat.
I mean, if you connect with one punch on most guys, if Jake Paul's able to connect that on any guy, that's able to that's a punch that can put any guy out.
If Jake connects with the right hook, it's over. It's over because Jake's got a lot of power.
Yeah,
and he's wicked strong, so he's done. He's done.
I mean, listen, like you said, Jake ended up putting a good shot on Tyron, but I think it was in the 4th round. I think Tyron put Jake through the ropes at one point, and he had him kind of leaning against ropes. I mean, you were there to witness it live. Were you kind of nervous in that moment when he put Jake through the ropes like that, and had, obviously he didn't end up going for it, but in that split second were you like, oh shoot, this might get real?
100%, and it got real right there.
It did.
Yes, it did. Personally, when it came to, if I was Tyron, I would be pretty scared at this point, because he caught Jake with a shot that he did not see coming. And I mean, Jake would have hit the ground if those ropes weren't there 110%.
Yeah, he would. If that was center of the ring, that would have been a knockdown.
Right. But he got right back up, kept dancing around, and was able to get to the end of the round and come back a little bit stronger. So if I'm Tyron, I'm thinking, man, I hit him with one of my hardest shots. He didn't even see it coming, and I still couldn't knock him out. So round 2, I think Jake's just going to come back more improved. I don't think Tyron can catch up.
I think that Tyron can catch up if he can get him in that situation again. Now, whether he can do that or not is the question. And I think what Tyron needs to know is when you get him in that situation, don't go around just, waving your fist around the air in that circle. Cause I remember I'm seeing this. I'm like, he's down for the count. Like you have him on the ropes, basically, literally on the freaking ropes. I'm like, go for the kill and, be protective of yourself. But Tyron, you've seen guys on the mat in the UFC before. I can probably guarantee the majority of the time you're not going around waving your fist in the air. Your instinct is to go at them, get on the ground, and take them out. You have a guy that you've literally punched the life out of, and go get him before he gets the energy to come back. And I think that he needs to do that in order to have a good shot here. I want to see Tyron do this thing because even if it's, regardless of how you feel about them, a trilogy fight could be fun to see. But
those are always fun to see.
Yeah, that's fun to see. I think unfortunately it might be a detriment to Jake if this turns into a trilogy thing, because you kind of do want to see him go on and fight
Tommy Fury.
Well, more high level talent and go on and fight more guys like this. But I don't know. I like Tyron in this fight. I like the adjustment.
Woodley. We got 2 for Tyron Woodley, 1 for Jake right now.
Yeah.
What a loser, right?
Yeah, right.
Shut up.
What a loser, right?
All right.
He's our guest, Tyler. He's our guest.
What a loser, right?
Hear this out. Hear this hot take. Tommy Fury's a waste of a fight for Jake Paul. And I
really
waste of a fight.
So
waste of a fight.
I kind of agree.
I can easily get into this.
But he's a real fighter.
No, he's
like
not.
A real boxer.
No, he's not.
Really? You don't think so?
Yeah, he is. But look at the past records of the people who he's fought before.
Montana Love kicked the ever-loving crap out of him.
Yes.
Really?
He has
he was on Tommy Fury was an undercard on the Jake Paul fight, and Montana Love, who was the fighter, it's called the Montana Love fight. It's not even called Love v Fury because of how brutally Montana Love just obliterated Jake Paul.
He was on the undercard for the Woodley fight.
Yes.
The first time they fought.
Wait, Brian,
yes.
Brian.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he fought this guy, Montana Love, and Montana Love, excuse me for my language, kicked the ever-loving shit out of him.
Brian,
it was terrible.
Keep it PG, will you?
It's fine. We're on the podcast. Right?
I could be mistaken, but I thought he fought Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor.
Is that who he fought?
Yeah, I think Montana Love fought that night too, but it wasn't against Tommy Fury.
I thought
there was an upset.
But Tommy Fury did lose though that night, I thought.
No, he won by decision, but he against the UFC fighter turned boxer, he couldn't knock him out.
That's who it was.
He's also a lot shorter, a lot smaller.
That's what it was. Okay, I'm confused.
Who would you think it was?
I'm about to bring this full circle right now.
You're good.
So Jake knocked out Ben Askren.
I got confused because I think we talked about both fights on our last podcast.
Yeah, we did.
So I kind of merged them into my mind.
So Jake knocked out Ben Askren, but a professional boxer in Tommy Fury couldn't knock out Pretty Boy Taylor. Now, hear me out. I understand people always say, oh, Tommy Fury is a professional boxer. Yeah, well, he also has the last name Fury, which is why he gets all the hype that he does.
That I agree with.
If you look at his past opponents, they're all absolute trash.
If he was Tommy Andrews, if he was Tommy whatever, or Tommy Smith, no one would
give a single damn about him whatsoever.
Yeah.
And for a part of that, I almost feel bad for Tommy in a way, because I feel like he's not even into boxing as much as everyone wants him to be into it. I feel like he's being pushed into it by his dad
family.
and his brother a lot more. Right. Yeah. He has to live up to a name he don't even want to live up to. So
it's a big name to live up to.
Exactly.
Specifically because look at this. Also, look at the size of
Tyson
Fury.
Yeah.
He's an NBA. He's an NBA. Right. He's an NBA power forward
with the like a keg.
Yeah.
With a keg, KO you.
Right. So he is from the top rope. He is a one-of-one athlete that we may never get to see again. You can't teach that. You can't train that. So how is Tommy Fury ever going to live up to that? Exactly.
Tommy Fury's got physical attributes. The man's got wicked broad shoulders. He's wicked fit, and he seems wicked quick.
Yeah. Right.
But that
he's a good puncher.
That all doesn't mean anything when you get KO'd.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he is nasty on a heavy bag, but I mean, that's not
on a heavy bag.
Yeah, throw someone in a
heavy bag doesn't move, does it?
That's such a diss.
Heavy bag don't fight back.
That one took me a second because I'm not the I'm sometimes not the smartest in the room, but I was like, hold on a minute. But no, so I don't know. I like Woodley in this because I think that he will be able to adapt, but it would not surprise me if Jake Paul comes out and is able to finish him in this fight. It really wouldn't.
Honestly, you just want a good fight. They're entertainers. But
yeah, I just want a good fight to end the year.
My last thing that I want to ask you guys, do you think these celebrities are ruining the sport of boxing?
Celebrities as in
celebrity boxers, just like, like you got the Paul brothers,
and not even the Paul brothers.
You got KSI.
You saw like, did you ever seen that whole TikToking crap?
Yeah, the whole TikTok,
like the TikToker boxing.
Okay, yeah. So hear me out.
These celebrities are ruining boxing.
I think Jake and Logan Paul no, because look at Jake's not losing and Logan's fighting Floyd Mayweather. So for them, no. But like, yeah, all those TikTokers like Taylor Holder, Bryce Hall. Get out of here! Don't
Austin McBroom. Get him out. Get him out.
You can't even pay your freaking fighters for that Social Gloves event.
Yeah.
That to me is just embarrassing. They should just do a golf match at that point.
Yeah.
It's
sit on the couch.
We'll
make it TikTok.
Unfortunately, most TikTokers I could guarantee you probably wouldn't have the coordination to actually have a good golf swing.
That's
what are you talking about, dude? They do all those
TikTok dances. They can be flexible, but they don't have the coordination. I mean, listen. So what do? They do the most, they do the most uncivilized thing possible, and they try to punch each other in the face because it's part of settling the beef and doing all that crap. I'm just like, you guys suck.
Play rock paper scissors. Whatever happened to that?
Yeah.
What's with the fighting, man? Yeah. You're a TikTok star. Do rock paper scissors or Connect Four, and you're fine.
Yeah. Right. I like what they're trying to do, but they're not doing it the right way.
Yeah. They just are bad at it.
Hear me out.
Yeah, bad. So bad.
Hear me out. Hear me out though.
Yeah.
Hear me out though. TikToker bare knuckle UFC fights.
See, now that would be a lot better than
I'd be interested.
That's what I'm saying. That would be entertaining.
At least make it like bloody and shit.
There's real stakes.
Right. Because they fought with headgear on and 16-ounce gloves. That's like that. I mean, come on. I'd box anyone at that point. Well, not anyone, but
but even like a bare knuckle fight with TikTokers. Yeah. How many people can you really get to watch that?
See,
not that many.
Yeah, but you would have to have a factor that shows that this is not safe. There is a serious chance that somebody's going to get seriously injured.
Someone's really going to get hurt.
It needs to be like UFC 1 back in the day. Did you end up seeing? Have you ever seen like UFC 1 or like the early days of UFC? Like
I saw a video of a 600-pound man fighting a dude that was like 5'6".
Yes. Oh, is that what I'm
like?
What you're talking
UFC,
about?
like obviously we see the UFC now, and it's on UFC. It's the thing about to be UFC 269 is the one that's coming up this week, and it's Poirier versus Oliveira. Yeah, and it's gonna be a good that's gonna be a good fight. And we see these guys, and we end up thinking, oh my god, like these are fighters at the top of their class. The UFC back in the day was a legit freak show. Like that's what it was. Like they would
circus.
Well, they would take guys from two completely different disciplines and they'd have them fight. I remember they took this karate guy, or I think he was like maybe he was in like jujitsu or something, and they ended up having him fight a sumo wrestler. Like, and weight classes didn't matter. And none of that stuff mattered. And the only way you ended up winning was getting a knockout. I'm pretty sure it was like and there was like. And the sumo wrestler comes in, and everyone thinks the sumo wrestler is just going to beat this guy up. And he ended up getting his teeth knocked out by this 200-pound guy. And I don't know. Here's the thing. I'd love to see some real stakes consequence stuff like that. If you could get some TikTokers in the ring. I'm in. Listen, I mean, that is how you get views. I'm sorry. Boxing is becoming overrated now. You can say the Pauls are saving it and whatnot. It unfortunately has been a dying sport. But I think if you get these tweens in the octagon, I think you could see some real fun stuff go down.
Agreed.
Personally,
you want views? Do a TikToker Squid Games.
What?
TikToker Squid Games, that would get views.
I'm not trying to see them die. But a lot
of people are.
I mean, we're not trying to talk about death threats. No. What show do you think this is?
Yeah, but y'all can't even tell me I'm wrong.
Hunger Games? I don't know.
That would get serious views.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm just trying to bring some hype. back.
I mean, what year is it?
Yeah.
Jesus. Speaking of, going down.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about what happened this weekend with Pitt quarterback Kenny Pickett?
Oh my God.
During the ACC championship, Kenny Pickett, the quarterback of University of Pittsburgh, rolled out for a long quarterback run.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure I think it was designed, but I'm looking here, and he took off from the 40 and ran across midfield and then all the way to the end zone. But around the 30-yard line, there were 3 defenders in front of him, and he decided to pretend to slide, and they all fell for it, and they all like stood up because you can get a targeting penalty for that.
And targeting in the for anyone who doesn't know college football, targeting will usually result in automatic ejection.
And you can get ejected. So he fakes a slide, and he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't slide, ends up taking it to the house.
Yes.
Now, it was brought up on ESPN by Ryan Clark.
It's being brought up everywhere, Tyler.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
It's crazy.
It was Ryan Clark tweeted, former cornerback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Tweeted that this is the first step to a targeting penalty because now I can't slow up ever again. Because nowadays you can literally accidentally kick the quarterback and you'll get a targeting penalty.
Yes.
Let's be real.
If typically, for anyone who doesn't know the rules of a safety slide, if you go down into that slide and if you so as much breathe on the quarterback, you'll get a penalty.
Yeah, because the quarterback's basically giving himself up at that point. He's like, all right, I know this is as far as I can go right before getting injured. So most of them slide. Now, this is definitely going to cause problems because
will it though?
You know why it will? Because you're going to have these guys because now somebody first did it. Somebody had to do it.
Yeah, he opened it up.
Dan Marino did the fake spike. It's been done before. It's been done a couple times. But now you run the risk of a fake slide. Will Tom Brady try a fake slide? Will Jones try a fake slide?
Tom Brady's not.
But that's the thing. Tom Brady's got a huge set of,
I am wrong.
His man junk. He's got a huge set down there.
Actually, I am wrong. Tom Brady has tried a fake slide before,
but he juked Brian Urlacher.
Yeah, by doing a fake slade. That was a fake slide.
He juked him.
It looks more like a slide when you look at it.
Well, that's because he's not
coordinated.
Adrian Peterson out there. He's Tom Brady.
So it fakes you out in both ways.
But anyway, this is going to be a huge problem because you're going to have a quarterback. You're going to have these safeties charging in, and they're going to be like, okay, is he actually going to go down? I don't know. And then they're going to lean in with the head, and they're going to just KO the quarterback by accident, and they're going to get a targeting penalty.
Like what happened to Joe Flacco on the Ravens when he got, KO'd and sent out of a game and started the career of Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah. What was his name? Oh, I knew the linebacker's name. Oh, he played for Buffalo.
Yeah.
But he was on Miami at the time.
What? It wasn't Milano, was it?
No. I can't remember.
I'm
Either way,
sure.
he got absolutely leveled on that play. But that's why I think this play could lead to. Because like I said, somebody had to do it first.
Kiko Alonso.
That I knew it began with an A.
Yeah.
But that's what it could possibly lead to. Now that's also a far stretch because players, I hope, are smarter than that because you never want to see anybody get injured. That's the worst thing because whenever somebody goes down, everybody's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This could be bad.
Yeah.
Everybody on both teams. So I think it's going to cause a lot of problems. I'd like to hear what both of you think. But I think it's going to be bad.
Trevor, I'll hand it off to you.
I think the next 2 weeks are going to show how this is actually going to go. If this becomes a sketchy thing and people start getting cracked and laid out, then yes. But I feel like a lot of quarterbacks are going to be like, yo, please don't associate me with him. I'm not going to do that. Like, I feel like quarterbacks are like, no, I don't want to start playing this game. My career is literally going to end. I don't want to get into this. So if a bunch of quarterbacks all of a sudden start fake sliding within the next 2 weeks, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot. But I think if like they actually slide and they're like, hey, we're not actually going to start doing that. This isn't the start or something. I think it'll go away. But I mean, right now we're at a very pivotal point where this could become a thing or it could not. And I really hope it doesn't.
Yeah. I don't really think as of right now, it's only happened in this one instance. I'm not too worried that it's gonna catch on and become a thing. And here's why. I see that, obviously Pickett, it looked like he was giving himself up and then got up and ran for the touchdown. In that situation, when you go back and look at the tape, it was like a very unique situation on the field where typically when most guys go for a slide, the players are, fairly close to them, closing in as they're doing it. These defenders were somewhat separated when he ended up attempting this and, allowed for him to kind of mess around with it more. Had those guys been maybe 5 yards closer, I think that he goes out down that slide and doesn't even think about faking it
every time.
But because they were, much further apart than you typically would see guys, he ended up saying, all right, I kind of have a little more space to play around with here. Even if they close back in on me, I can still go back into another slide and do something. So I don't know if it's necessarily going to catch on and become this thing. I'm I am kind of like weary of it. Especially because I think that now Kenny Pickett essentially is going to be running around with a target on his back.
He could.
Yeah, because I mean, you can only just assume what's going to happen with stuff now. But I'm not too worried about it right now. I also see it kind of as I see a bunch of these guys, typically people that don't like baseball, and they complain about the unwritten rules in baseball. But that now they're kind of saying that there's an unwritten rule here, and there is an unwritten rule that you are supposed to give yourself up. But I really don't think that this is going to be as big a deal as people are saying it is, because I think that it was such a unique position on the field.
But here, so what's this news site? The Gazette. I don't know what paper this is, but anyway, this site asked Iowa State quarterback Brock Purdy what he thought about it, and part of it he said he was like, there's the rule where the quarterback starts to slide is where he's marked down. There's stuff a lot of people are going to be talking about and going over, but I think for the safety of the quarterback sliding now, that can be a little dangerous because defenders are going to be taught to go all the way through until he's on the ground and make sure that he slides.
Yeah.
And then a fake slide doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know what?
He gets absolutely level.
Yeah.
So he said it's a little controversial. I don't know if I have any more on that, but
it's controversial. And
that's true.
Yeah, no,
you could actually you could be taught like, oh, prepare yourself for a fake slide, and then absolutely level a quarterback, and then say. I mean, you could for the Patriots say that's J.C. Jackson accidentally. That throws out your best corner, best defensive player, one of the best corners in the league.
Complete game changer.
Exactly. This could be a huge game changer because say your star defensive player accidentally does it, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
If you're screwed. Yeah. So
here's the reason though that I am not in favor of this getting turned into a rule unless it starts to become apparent though. And it's not because I don't think that what Kenny Pickett did, or, whether I liked it or whether I didn't like it, it actually has to do based on the fact that I think that the refs typically can't do their job. And what I'm worried what will happen is
refs in every sport these days are terrible.
Exactly. But what I'm worried what will happen is they'll end up making a rule and saying, hey, if what will most likely happen is if a guy attempts a fake slide, the ruling will be to blow the play dead. Now, what makes me worried about that? You're going to have maybe a Lamar Jackson or some athletic quarterback not attempting to do a fake slide, probably just trying to juke some guy out and maybe have a really good juke. But the ref is going to be, too concerned with the fact that it's a fake slide, especially during the first year of its implementation. And Lamar Jackson could have a straight shot to the house, throws a juke move on a defender, it gets blown dead, and everyone's wondering what the heck just happened. And it could not even look close to a fake slide. It could be literally a lateral movement, but any juking whatsoever could essentially get blown dead and be turned into an inadvertent whistle because of this. And for any Patriots fans who have seen it inadvertent whistles and have had to deal with all the aspects of it, it's not fun because your two choices when an inadvertent whistle is blown and a play is blown dead is either to just take the ball at the spot that you have it or to redo the play. You don't get anything else added on. So it's not really a great situation because say you have a wide open touchdown run that gets taken away from you. It's like, all right, am I either just going to take the play on first down or take the second down play, or what's the deal? And
it's a big toss up now.
It really is. And it sucks because I've been a referee and I remember in my first game, I had an inadvertent whistle and explaining it to coaches, no coach is happy when an inadvertent whistle is blown. They don't go, oh man, it's all good. Hey, we'll be good. They'll go, are you kidding me? What do you mean you blew it dead? Like he's wide open, like they'll get all over you. So I don't want to see this because I know what this is going to turn into and I really don't want it to become that.
No, I know.
Oh yeah, this should have never happened.
Could be bad.
Yeah, I mean that's
also worst case scenario because how many people are really going to attempt a fake slide? Because especially a lot of NFL guys.
Tyler, no one's going to attempt a fake slide. Just a juke move is going to get turned into this.
That's true. That's also true.
That's what I'm saying. No one's going to turn. No, I'm not saying fake slides are going to get blown dead left and right. Like I'm not saying that if it is made illegal, then
even tossing a juke move is going to cause for concern because you're probably going to have, like you said, the ref is going to blatantly blow the whistle.
Yeah, you're going to have some dumbass officials making some dumbass calls.
Exactly. Oh, like that doesn't happen already.
Well, yeah. So you want to make it worse? I mean, you're seeing all these stupid taunting penalties getting thrown about left and right.
Don't even get me started on that, Brian. Yeah. I hate it. Yeah, sports are about taunting a little bit, not excessive, but you can taunt a little bit. I mean, it makes the game enjoyable. Remember Tyreek Hill taunting Antoine Winfield Jr. and then the Super Bowl,
Came back to bite him right in the ass.
Did it right back to him.
Yeah.
It was like, this is where it really matters.
Exactly.
Like, that's awesome.
Right.
And then Tom Brady and Tyron Matthew get going at it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a flag now.
Oh, yeah.
Look at it like this. These people work their entire lives, dedicate their lives to this sport. If you score a touchdown in the NFL, I mean, that's something 99.9% of people will never experience. Let me talk some shit. Like, why not? How many people are doing this?
Let me brag a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. What? Can you score a touchdown? No, you probably can't.
I scored in flag football.
Yeah.
Hey, I scored when I played Pop Warner.
I scored in flag football too.
I scored when I played Pop Warner.
Did you taunt the kid?
No, I was in 3rd grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I want to know how that would have played out.
Yeah. As
show up to a Pop Warner game, I catch a touchdown.
As a former flag football ref and player, you would have gotten thrown out of the game.
This is real football. This is real Pop Warner for a football. This is tackle football.
Yeah.
Imagine you see a little 3rd grader just taunting.
Well, Tyler,
that'd be hilarious.
What's he doing though? The Key and Peele? You know the Key and Peele? Excessive celebration.
Yeah. 3 pumps.
3 pumps and you're out.
Done.
Yeah.
Gone.
Well, Tyler,
gone.
2 max.
I actually did that before Key and Peele did it, so I'm the original. That's what I did.
Pop Warner and Pop Warner.
Yeah, I did 3 pumps.
Yeah, 3 pumps.
Well, Tyler, most times, we think about these youth refs, and we're kind of like older, and some of them are, older than us. But when we think back to it, and I see these like 8-year-olds looking at me, they probably think I'm like ancient. And now,
just don't make me feel old.
And no, here's the thing. Like, looking back on it, most of the people that refed us were probably younger than us. Actually, they were probably like some 16-year-old kids that were trying to get some gas money.
Yeah.
So they probably weren't going to take any crap, and they were like, "Listen, man, we're not trying to like do this stuff right now. Like, it's ridiculous."
I'm not old. I'm not. I don't get paid enough for
exactly. Exactly.
Mm-mm.
But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with this whole Kenny Pickett thing. I don't think that the Army Navy game this weekend we're gonna have to worry about that athleticism too much. I think it's just gonna be a bunch of runs. But
that game is gonna be awesome. Have you seen the jerseys for that game?
Those are pretty
That's
sick.
one of the best games to be at.
Yeah,
I would love to go to one of those games. But also, I mean, speaking of Kenny Pickett, real quick, he's he might not play in the Peach Bowl.
It's a bowl game.
Yeah, but like that. But yeah, why wouldn't you?
It's draft stock. I mean,
dude, you
future quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You be quiet. He made a commitment to play for this team. My God, if I'm the coach, you're suiting up.
You talking about Pickett?
Yeah, this season's not over yet.
Unfortunately,
you're playing.
Unfortunately, man, I hate to say it, I want these guys to play in these games now, but they just don't do it anymore because they see the NFL and they see that game check right over the horizon. They end up saying, all right, what do I want? Chance at $5 million or a potential broken leg next week? Like, you pick.
I'm playing.
Right,
I'm playing.
But it's Pitt at the Peach Bowl. This isn't the Natty.
Yeah, if they were,
but still, that's still their game. That's their championship game for the year.
But you're
Kenny Pickett
next year.
Pickett next year has the chance to become the next future quarterback at the Steelers. So I think he's more focused on that right now.
Or the Giants.
Yeah, that would suck.
R.I.P. for him. Oh my goodness. But he's projected to be the first one of the, if not the first quarterback off the board.
I think they have Matt Corral out of Ole Miss, but he's supposed to be one of those big guys.
Yeah, I saw one too, and I saw Pickett before him. So it's a toss up.
So it's moving up. Okay.
Yeah. So I think his stock's moving up, but we can sit here and debate who the best quarterback in the draft is, and it could be blown. Exactly. We don't know.
No, it could be a complete bust.
Everybody thought Sam Darnold was the number 1 pick, and then the Browns chose Baker Mayfield.
I mean, hell, it could always just be a guy at pick 199. You never know. It's always so
fourth
up in the
round, second round. You never know. What was Dak Prescott was 4th round? You never know. Aaron Rodgers was end of the 1st round. Mac Jones was the last quarterback taken in the 1st round.
Okay, but he's still a 1st-round talent.
He's awesome. Speaking of Mac Jones,
who y'all taking for Heisman? I got Aiden Hutchinson all day.
I love Aiden Hutchinson. I'm a big Michigan fan, so I like him for Heisman.
Nominees:
Pickett's in it. Hutchinson,
the dude from
it's gonna be Bryce.
Ohio State.
Bryce Young.
It's going to be.
Yeah,
Bryce Young's trash.
Thank you. Absolutely terrible. Can't throw the ball.
You heard it first.
He's an Alabama quarterback. Can't throw.
So you're thinking
terrible.
You're thinking he's going to be more on the line of an AJ McCarron than he is of a successful, or of a Mac Jones.
Did you watch his performance or in the Iron Bowl?
Dude, he played.
I could have performed better in that game, and I'm not even kidding. That was one of the worst quarterback performances I've seen.
Yeah, and
except
Auburn's
for that
like
Hail Mary at the end. Yeah,
Auburn was like what 4-7,
unranked.
I mean, but he took it to that Georgia defense though.
Yes, he did.
No. Saban took it to the Georgia defense.
Yeah.
That was Saban's game plan.
I mean,
see, I didn't see as many good throws. I saw just blown coverages and more game plan. But
yeah,
I mean,
it's college. It's college. Blown coverage happens more than you think.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why there's bigger plays more. In the NFL, you don't see that.
I don't know why in college, whenever I see a deep pass going up in the air, in the NFL, you see a deep pass going up in the air. Majority of the time, you're thinking it's going incomplete. In college, I'm in my mind, I'm saying this thing is going to be completed just because of how defenses work in college. Unfortunately, and
exactly.
Someone's coming down with it when a guy throws it up in college. That's just usually the case.
Yeah. Now, speaking of deep passes, something we did not see this Monday night.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Bills versus Patriots was just a pass in general. What do you had? He was 2 for 3 with 19 yards. It
was kind of a preview to the Army-Navy game a little bit.
Yes, it was.
I mean, did you see that Bill Belichick came out in a Navy shipman mask and proceeded to run the ball 46 times in spirit of Navy?
Yeah, because didn't his dad go to the Naval? I think his dad coached the Naval Academy. He has some ties to he has a tie to the Naval Academy. I know that, but I mean, this game was ridiculous. I mean, it was snowing sideways. I don't know if you ever seen that meme from Family Guy. They're like, "How's the weather out there, Ollie?" And he's like, "It's snowing sideways."
Yeah.
But anyway,
he was an assistant for the U.S. Naval Academy.
I mean, the temperature at kickoff was 27 degrees. The wind was over 40 miles an hour. And if you saw ESPN,
they were playing in a little hurricane.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A pregame.
You see that field goal?
Terrible. What field goal? That was a sad attempt.
The pregame field goal.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
saw
it for the Bills kicked it and it just went right.
Well, did you see the pregame for ESPN? They're all 5 of them were sitting on stools and the wind blew and they all almost got knocked off the stools.
Adam Schefter almost got blown out the stadium.
Yeah, because he's like 102 pounds,
soaking wet.
Yeah, but like I said, Mac Jones threw 3 passes and they ran for 222 yards and 46 carries.
Yeah, I mean, Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, Brandon Bolden, they were just it that night. I mean, it was
Brandon
craziness.
Bolden. You
have a man crush on Brandon Bolden this season. It is apparent.
Okay.
You've mentioned him.
He's been on this
mentioned
team.
him an absurd amount of times on this show.
Okay.
Bolden versus Jake Paul.
And I'm about to explain. I'm Bolden all day.
I mean, we're seeing a running back. We're seeing a running back in that fight. Frank Gore's fighting Darren Williams in that fight.
Frank Gore's winning that.
Yeah, he's gonna kill him.
100%.
If he can reach him.
That's legal assault. Dude, I saw Frank Gore at the Jake Paul fight. Biggest neck I've ever seen on a human being. You can't even you couldn't choke him out if you wanted to.
He's
just
a
dense, thick guy. You can't hurt him. He will knock out whoever some NBA player.
Darren Williams, 3-time NBA All-Star. He's knocking him out.
100%. Yeah, that's gonna be bad. Yeah, I hope medical attention is close by after that fight.
They need an ambulance on standby.
Brandon Bolden he's been on the team for a while. I mean, he's had a couple stints in Miami. He had a stint in Miami and a stint in Philly.
Yeah,
but every time he's been here, he's been a special teamer, and granted, he's been really good at it.
Oh yeah, he's been a notorious like one of those Bill Belichick special teams guys, like a Matthew Slater, like a Nate Ebner.
Yeah. But now because of the injury to James White, and we traded Sony Michel, and you got 2 ground pound running backs in Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris, you got that third down back. Who's it going to be? And you have to toss in Brandon Bolden, but he's been. The first game I saw him in, I'm like, great. Brandon Bolden is playing. Like, this guy's awful.
Yeah. My thoughts exactly. I was
all of a sudden, first game he played like crap.
Yeah. I was like, we're screwed at running back. James White's done. We're done.
Yeah, he played like crap. And then all of a sudden, that's a tough role to fill up, James White. James White's one of the best, I think, all-around backs in the NFL.
And I mean, we have good running back depth, but trying to plug in Brandon Bolden, the Brandon Bolden we've known.
Trying to replace James White is impossible.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Great all-around back. But like you said, Brandon, you can't just plug Brandon Bolden in there.
Not in any normal season.
No, but now all of a sudden you do.
Yeah, and
he's balling out.
Yeah, he's Jesus on the field.
Oh my God, he's playing so well, and I'm happy for him because I think he needed it.
Yeah,
he's getting up there in age, and he never really had his moment. Mm-hmm. I think this is his moment for his year. He's gonna have. I don't know if it's going to come in the next couple of games, or from the playoffs, but he's going to have some breakout game, and he's going to throw his name in the map.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it because I truly think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I want to talk some more about this game, but you're talking about guys that are having, successes here, and Brandon Bolden is being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys that just hasn't had success in general. And this game just proved it. And I think it's time to finally close the book on this guy.
Close and throw it into a fire.
Yeah, and that
Get
guy,
rid of him.
That guy is N'Keal Harry. Listen, he was a first-round draft pick, and I remember seeing his highlights coming out of Arizona State, and I was like, oh shoot, this guy has some potential. I was like, he was huge. Yeah, well, and the catches that he was making over in Arizona, I was like, this guy has some like legit potential to be like an athletic freak for us. And I was like, let's go. Like, this is like a real good move. Now looking back at we drafted him over like 4 Pro Bowl wide receivers. It's like, you've got to be joking.
Over DK Metcalf.
It's time to cut the losses. Cut the losses. Marquise invested.
Not certain. I
don't know about that one, but I know it was over AJ Brown and DK Metcalf.
Yeah, and when you look at just the way that this whole thing panned out, it's so ugly just to see.
Sad.
It's terrible. I mean, listen, he's become a blocking wide receiver, which I didn't even realize that we carried on the depth chart at this point. On the depth chart, I believe he's 5th or 6th on the wide receiver depth chart. He's about, I think he's equal with Matthew Slater on the depth chart. And listen, Matthew Slater came to Bryant a couple of weeks ago. Great guy. I was able to actually ask him a question. Very, very nice individual. The man hasn't played wide receiver in 6 years. And somehow he's higher on the depth chart right now than N'Keal freaking Harry. And why am I complaining about N'Keal Harry? Did he catch a pass or was involved in the offense in this game? No. But for some reason, I'm part of my blame goes on Belichick for this too. He thought that in a hurricane force wind, this would be the perfect situation to send N'Keal Harry out for his first ever punt reception attempt in the NFL.
That was a dumb call.
And I'm just like, Bill. So on that one, I'm kind of like, Bill, what the hell are you doing? What is your game plan here? So I don't know what his idea was for that, but N'Keal Harry, has the ball bounce and basically comes very close to touching it. And he ends up saying, oh shoot, I got away. And instead of basically just vacating the stadium, this man decides to just get a closer look at it. And the thing bounces off his helmet. Recovery for Buffalo ball. And you can't script this shit any better. Literally the next play, Josh Allen and the Bills throw a touchdown pass. I was like, you can't make this up. Like, you literally can't make that stuff up. It's like that storybook kind of stuff where, you mess up and, we'll get you the next time. Very next play. Touchdown pass. I believe it was that guy Davis on their team. I was like, I think
he tripped when he tried to catch it the first time, and then he tripped and it landed to the left of him. And he's like, all right, never mind. But then apparently he wanted to try and get it. Yeah. And that's when it bounced off his face, man.
I'm like, N'Keal, if it goes wrong the first time,
don't go back.
Yeah.
Don't go back. Abort.
In a normal situation for you back there, especially in this crap with this insane weather, I'm like,
it could have blown into him.
Yeah. I was like,
those are things you don't, he did exactly what you don't do.
And I feel like, people try to talk about his run blocking ability. I think it's just so overrated at this point. I think that's
just because he's big.
Yeah, exactly.
He's big and strong. That's all that is.
I mean, listen, he's 24 years old, which actually is surprising me. I thought he was a little bit older than this.
Great value.
He is. I don't think he has any.
This man has some.
No, I think this season squandered it. This man had the audacity to request to trade at the beginning of the year, and I audibly laughed out loud. I was like, in what right do you have to request a trade from the New England Patriots?
He's a bum.
The Patriots. I was like, the Patriots will be lucky enough to ship your ass off for a 6th right now with the way you've played.
Just to think, we got that for Gilmore. Now we could get it from N'Keal Harry. What?
Yeah, I mean,
ship him off somewhere. I don't want him though. I
don't
want him. He's 24. He's a waste of a roster spot. I mean, honestly, elevate Isaiah Zuber to the team, because that man played once last year, I think, and he actually played pretty well. So I like him, and that's actually a player that I really like. I think could play really well as Isaiah Zuber, but N'Keal Harry's got to go.
Yeah,
he's a waste. All he does is block. All he does is block. I mean, that's just because he's big and strong. Like, you can throw Bolden in there and he'll do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it's just,
I mean,
the man can't catch anything.
I mean, the Pats went out and they spent a ton of money on offensive weapons because they saw the ineptitude currently going on in New England, and basically, they could have just gotten a Kendrick Bourne or just gotten Nelson Aguilar. They got both of those guys because they saw their situation and ended up saying, N'Keal's not going to be a part of this offense. We're going to have Kendrick Bourne. We're going to have Aguilar. We're going to have Jonnu, and we're going to have
Myers.
Myers. We're going to have Hunter Henry, and we don't even want N'Keal anywhere near the field. It's prevalent at this point. It's
sad. He deserves an opportunity, and it's not here.
It's not.
It ain't here. It ain't here.
Find an offense that works for him.
Do you remember? I think it was the preseason. Mac threw a gorgeous pass to him, and he dropped it.
Yeah.
Like Mac threw one of the most beautiful touchdown passes I've ever seen, and he dropped it.
Yeah. Now, Brian, you said earlier you can't make this stuff up. You know what you can't make up? The fact that ESPN, I can't, I don't quote me on this specifically, but I know they said it. That Pats versus Bucks, 10% chance to make it to the Super Bowl.
It's the most likely odds for it to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, because
that would be disgusting.
That would be insane. But honestly,
we live in a simulation.
Yeah, if that happens, I unfortunately do kind of have to concede that the NFL is rigged. Unfortunately, like the NBA is already a lost cause. We go to the games anyways because it's fun to see Jason Tatum. We can attest to that. It's
Deuce.
It's fun
to see for Deuce.
Yeah, and Luke Holmes and all those guys. It's fun to see those.
That's awesome.
It's fun to see.
Man, I wish I went.
Yeah, it's fun to see live NBA action, but we know it's rigged now at this point. The 2002 Western Conference Finals kind of proves that to us. Yeah. The NFL, it's starting to become it's kind of a drip thing of where it's, kind of becoming a little too obvious. I mean, you'd think the NFL would try to, mess with us a little bit to kind of throw us off and be like, no, we're not rigged. Watch, the Ravens are going to take off. Oh shoot, everyone's getting injured miraculously. And I'm just like, you can't make it up, man. It's crazy, but
you can't, but that would be amazing. But honestly, real quick.
Oh, it would be amazing, Tyler.
It
would be amazing news.
That game.
It'd be amazing news if the Patriots and Bucks made the Super Bowl. Just be amazing. No, that'd be the storyline of the year of the century.
That game?
Who wins that game? I can't bet against the Pats and Bill Belichick. I can't do it. I think Bill's getting in Brady's head. I think Bill's getting in Brady's dome. And once you get into Brady's head, you win the game.
No, what you got to do is to get into his head. You're right. But to get into his head, you got to get to him. Once you get to him,
you win.
You put him on the ground. You fluster him.
Yeah.
He gets flustered really quick because he gets very angry. And he gets angry quick. He blames everybody else.
Yeah. I personally think the sun will explode before kickoff, and we just will never know the answer. I think that's the most likely case of what happens before.
That would be a great Super Bowl. That'd probably be one of the most watched, probably the most watched Super Bowl in history.
It would be.
Probably.
No way.
Not probably. It would be.
There's no way it wouldn't be.
Who is not watching that?
Yeah, it's the game. Like that would get probably the entire nation watching.
Probably my brother.
Probably the entire world.
My brother probably wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's a loser.
Yep. No, he's not a sports. He's not a sports guy.
Yeah.
There's one person that wouldn't watch it.
Okay.
But you're right. Everybody's going to be watching that.
How much are the tickets to that game? Minimum.
Holy Christ. I don't even want to know.
My grandfather was able to go to 2 Super Bowls back in the day. It was the Bengals versus Niners Super Bowl where Montana ended up winning, and he also got to go
the
see
Ickey Shuffle one.
And he also ended up getting to see John Elway just put a pounding on the Redskins. It was the other way around. It was the other way around. The Redskins ended up, I think, killing the Broncos. And so he's been able to see both of those games. One game cost $100 to get in, the other one $150, and he was sitting 50-yard line.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Now it's like tickets cost like $300 for the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
More than
my
that.
cousin got tickets to the Bucks Pats game.
Oh, those like 400 minimum, I think, right? Day of or something like that.
They were like 800. I think they were more than that for nosebleeds,
it.
and he had like solid seats. And he Snapchats me, and he's at the game. I'm like, dude, did you just spend your 2 paychecks on those tickets? What's the matter with you? Like, you just bought a house.
Yeah.
And he said it was the coolest thing ever, but honestly, I don't want to know. I don't even want to hear the prices of that Super Bowl because they're going to be through the roof.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to be a multi-millionaire to buy a ticket to that thing.
You're going to be sitting next to Elon Musk in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
Out loud. That's how it's going to be.
All the people down low, they're too important, so you don't even know their names.
Exactly. You don't even know where did these people come from.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sitting next to Elon Musk and I'm in the nosebleeds. Oh, look, there's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's another, multi-millionaire.
Right. Like they're gonna have to
tell
Adam
a lot
Sandler. Of people no. They're gonna have to tell a lot of people no.
Look, Jeff Bezos.
They might have to build an extension to the stadium.
Yeah.
just to fit.
That would sell out so fast.
Though. Oh yeah. As soon as the game concluded, it would sell out without question. Now,
easily.
It'd be a ridiculous game.
Easily.
But where is it?
This year it's in LA. So yeah, it's
okay.
over.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Los Angeles for that game.
Yeah.
It'd be over.
Oh my God. You know how much security they need for that game?
Yeah.
All of it.
And have you've seen the halftime show for that game? Remember, right?
Oh, it's Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they just have to lock down the city.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
See, I think after
D-O-double-G.
After that game, the world would end because we all just hit our peak.
Yeah.
That would be my peak happiness.
Of the world. You can't even go up from that. So what's the point?
Peak happiness, Patriots versus Bucks in the Super Bowl. Patriots win. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem in the halftime show. I am content with life.
Yeah. No, what else do you want?
That
Seriously.
would be perfect.
Seriously.
No, marriage is overrated.
Yeah.
That is my peak.
Yeah. That'll be quite the game. I can only imagine what that's going to look like.
That would be amazing.
But before we end up going though, obviously back to the Bills Pats game now, kind of back to reality.
Back to reality.
Oop, there goes gravity. But going off that though, going back to the Pats game, obviously Bill Belichick just had an incredible game for his team and just being able to go out there and do what they
game
did.
plan.
Exactly.
He had a tremendous game plan, and
Coach of the year.
He knew. Oh,
yeah. I'd probably say yes.
He knew that the Bills' run defense is not one of the strongest in the NFL, and he exploited it big time. Because I know that a bunch of Bills players are mad, and Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde were getting annoyed.
Oh, they were pissed
because of the questions they were getting asked. They were like, "How did you not like?" They ran the ball like 14 times in a row. Did you just not catch on?
Yeah.
And they just got completely embarrassed.
Yeah.
Embarrassed.
Yeah.
And Damian Harris ripped a 64-yard run too. It was only touchdown of the game, right? No, well, Bills had a touchdown.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just like they just got embarrassed.
Yeah, it was bad.
But it really shows that the New England Patriots have the best coaching staff in the NFL.
Yes.
Pound for pound, ground and pound. They have the best coaching staff in the NFL because they knew every game plan is different for every game. I mean, the game for the Bucks versus the Bills are two completely different games. It's we need to get to Tom Brady quick as possible, and that's it. And the offense, they have a good defense in general. They were blitzing all night, so they were like, we got to get the ball out quick. And for Buffalo, you couldn't pass. So they were like, oh God, this is we got to completely change our game plan now because look at the weather. And I can guarantee you that's exactly what they did. They were like, we got to change our game plan. And they're like, all right, let's go to this. And it was run. You got two powerful backs in Stevenson and Harris. And then you got Bolden. You throw Bolden in there, it's game over.
It really is.
And it was. They played
I'm nervous
strategic game.
I'm nervous for Damian Harris though, because he looked kind of limp.
He looked like he was limping on that 64-yard run. It looks like toward the end he ran into an injury.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
Hopefully it's just the cold and it was a kind of a cramp that happened because
let's hope.
Yeah,
but Stevenson Harris goes down. R.I.P. my fantasy team. But we're in good hands with Stevenson.
I've been on the Stevenson hype train since he got drafted. I saw his tape out of Oklahoma. I was like, this. He's a dude.
Dude, these rookies are balling out. Yeah, really are. Mac, obviously, Stevenson, but Christian Barmore. Is it Barmore?
Yeah, it's Christian Barmore.
He's playing like you seen that meme? It was like Christian or Mac Jones, dog. Mondre Stevenson, dog. Christian Barmore, dog.
Yeah,
they're playing insane.
Incredible draft class.
Barmore wasn't playing in this game for a little bit, and then the officials, the announcers said something. And who did you see make a play the exact next play? Christian Barmore was in the backfield.
Yes.
So I think, causing a disruption.
It's like we were waiting for this game.
Yeah.
It's like we knew it was going to happen almost.
Yeah.
I feel like Buffalo was like, they're not going to run it again, are they? I mean, they're not going to run it again.
I mean, I'll tell you though, this is a good game for me, but with the Patriots though, I still am left asking questions because I said this beforehand and I ended up saying, I was basically saying essentially this team just kind of reminds me of the start to the 2019 season that we had. We were freshmen here in college when it happened and the Patriots started off 8-0, were looking incredible. And a lot of that was due to us kind of facing not the not really the greatest talent. We were facing
right.
below average talent and guys that were injured, and we were catching a bunch of breaks. Then we faced Lamar Jackson, the Ravens. They kill us, and we ended up finishing the season 12-4, but obviously not with the same momentum that we had, and we lose to the Titans, and that's the end of Tom Brady in New England. And I worry that this team is kind of built like that, where if we face a real team with some real adversity, they could put us down. I mean, listen, the Bills are a solid football team, but we faced the Titans on injury. We faced the Bills in one of the weirdest weather games that I think we've ever witnessed. And we've caught a bunch of teams where they've been in tough situations. Now, what I really want to see is I think that the Colts will be a good matchup for us coming out of the bye week. And I also want to see
a tough game.
Exactly. So I think that's going to be a real test. And then I also want to see how we fare against the Bills when they come back into New England. Hopefully the weather is a little bit better so we can get a better judgment of where people line up. I think that's the best situation.
My thought process is we almost beat the Bucks, who are arguably the best team in the league right now. We almost beat the Cowboys. That game was BS. They missed a bunch of calls. They missed a blatant face mask call.
Yeah.
But anyway, they still lost. But those games were played very well.
Yeah.
And I think that this team could go far because of the coaching. They are coaching in a way that they're going to win. Each game is different. Each game plan is different. They plan for certain people. They knew they needed to contain Josh Allen. They didn't do the greatest job of it, but they knew that they had to do it, and they knew that they couldn't pass. They're like, all right, we got to run. They knew they had to get to Tom Brady. They did that. And it's just, it's incredible to see how much that they game plan for these teams and then how much they actually stick to it.
Yeah.
This team is very, very disciplined.
Yes.
And they stick to it, and they trust in their coaching. And I think that's why we're going to go far.
And while people are kind of saying, oh, Mac Jones didn't really do a lot in this game. And obviously he threw 3 passes, only completed 2
but that wasn't the game plan.
But at the same time, Mac is willing to do what is necessary. And obviously, he can be a game manager, and he's not going to be worried about saying, like Aaron Rodgers would have been like, I want to air it out. I want to be able to do my thing. And
I'm Aaron Rodgers. I have a big ego. Yeah,
exactly. He would have wanted to do that with Mac Jones. He was saying, all right, I just want to get the win because I'm just trying to prove my worth here and prove that I can stay around here. So I'm happy about that. I mean, I don't think that Brian Hoyer would have been able to personally go out and do what he did, do what Mac Jones did in this game.
It's hard because you're just handing the ball off.
I mean,
you feel useless.
I mean, well, you feel useless, but I also think that Hoyer probably would have messed something up. I feel like
Brian Hoyer. Of course.
I just remember that Kansas City game, and I'm like, oh my God, it's just a nightmare.
Nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of a shout out to my roommate right here. He was saying that the Patriots should get a different backup quarterback, and his recommendation is Mr. Mike White of the New York Jets.
I should have been the first round draft pick.
I don't know why, but my roommate Henry has a certain affinity right now for Mike White at quarterback. I can't understand it. He wanted me to bring it up on the show, so I figured might as well do it towards the end. So Henry, I hope you're happy that I brought up Mike White for absolutely no fucking reason on this show. But with that being said, Tyler, Trevor, I think it's time to say that we're now down to the wire. So that means we're going to wrap up what we talked about in this episode in a short little blip, and we will get on out of here. So obviously we welcomed in Trevor Saunders to the show. Trevor, it was a blast having you on, man. Amazing. You clapping for yourself. Wow, what a jackass.
Sir. Thank you.
But Trevor, obviously so glad to have you on the show, man. It's always a blast talking sports with you. We hope to get you on, probably in the next semester at some point to talk about some stuff with you. But obviously the main reason that we got you on the show is to talk about the now, quickly developing Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley rematch that is going to be going down on December 18th, and all the storylines revolving around that. After that, we talked about Pitt quarterback Kenny Pickett's fake slide versus Wake Forest, and ended things off talking about Pat's Bills and what the future of the Patriots holds from here on out. So we hope that you guys really enjoyed this episode. And if you guys are not falling down the wire yet at this point,
what are you doing with your life?
Exactly. We are available. We're available everywhere you guys can find podcasts. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Follow. Comment, like, do all the above.
Yeah. And again, the main hub that you can do that on is our Instagram. You can follow that at down.tothewire on Instagram. Again, at down.tothewire on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for listening. And from DTW, I'm Brian Costa.
And I'm Tyler Stringfellow.
I'm Trevor Saunders.
And we hope you guys have an amazing day. Have a good one. Peace out.
Peace.